What's up? What's up? Just if you jump in the house, okay. So I got a story about my friend. I'll just call him Phil, and he's from the state, Cali, from LA, and he came out here to go to Japanese school and stuff. And wow, he's a really cool person. I met him on not YouTube, but maybe through YouTube or something like that. And we did a lot of talking and stuff. And the guy came out, like I said, for school and stuff. And I went and met him, hung out with him and stuff. And for some reason, this guy just ran into a whole bunch of bad luck. I mean, his supporting system in the States just cut him off, and the dude's just basically lost in Japan by himself. So he was kind of like in this kind of living in this one place, and he could only stay there for like a limited time and stuff. Didn't have any money to move or anything. So he, and it's interesting. He told me one day, he was telling me about the stories, and one day he was saying how he met this Japanese family, and well, it's just a boyfriend and girlfriend, but still call them Japanese family. Well, not Japanese family, Osaka family, because one is Japanese, one is from another country, but they're both Asians. And he was just saying how they just saw him and started talking to him and invited him to different places. And then when he started, telling them about, what was going on in his life and stuff, they were like, wow, and they started, how can I say, helping him, buying him jackets and stuff like that. And then worst came to worst, things really happened where his supporting system wouldn't pay for, a lot of things that he needed. So the Japanese people, his Osaka family, they just hooked him up with an apartment for a year, a nice apartment, gonna pay for his Japanese lessons and everything, And this guy, one day we were just, how can I say, we were just talking, and I went to visit him, because he said the place we were staying at, the lights were off for like a week, and he kept mailing the owner, but the owner wouldn't message him back and stuff like that, and I ain't gonna lie, there are, like I said, my videos, there are a lot of things that people talk about the negative. I just try to talk about the positive things, but yeah, things do happen like that out here, but I don't want to talk about that, and when he was telling me this, I was like, wow. And he was telling me how these old Japanese men were harassing him and stuff, and he's only like young, in his young 20s and stuff, mid 20s or something like that. And I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it, because I hadn't ever had such problems like that. So I'm like, okay, fine, and so when I went to visit him, I was telling him about one of my friends' idea up in Tokyo. I made a video about him, and he was going to get a sign and hold it up saying, he wanted to teach English lessons. And I was like, wow, it's cool, but it might look a little desperate, but his situation, he wasn't in a bad situation like my friend was, because he had a place to stay and everything. So he decided not to do it, and then next, he ended up getting him a good job, So my friend, he would go for a job, and they would say, okay, we'll pay you $1,800 an hour. You get all these hours. And then he'll go back to start, and they'll say, like, one place said, oh, well, I'm sorry, we gonna just pay you $9 and give you half the hours. And so he didn't take it, And then one other place was to offer him a job, and then they called back and said, no, we want a female instead and stuff like that. And he was just telling me how he was just having all this bad luck. So when I went and picked him up, I was thinking like, hey, let's go to a 100-yen shop and go to a 100-yen shop and get some paper. You just write, some flyers, or go to Kinko's, whatever, get them copied or whatever, and stuff like that. So we walked in, and he got this idea with this blackboard. Pretty much what my friend said, just say, hey, let me just get a blackboard. I'll just stand out there and hold the sign, and people come. And I was like, and at first, I thought about what I told him. I said, no, yeah, go ahead, because you never know. It's the same thing like passing out those tissues. The only difference is, that you have to actually open the tissue and look at the tissues, versus the board walking by, you'll see it and stuff. So he went out there. He said he posed for hours, and he said that his first encounter. One of his first encounters was these two old Japanese men, drunk, and they came up to him at night and they were talking to him in English for about 5 minutes. And one guy pulled out each of my end and gave it to him. But his friend was like, no, it's too much. And the other guy was pushing him off like, no. And my friend said he had this big wad of money, and then the other guy gave him $20. So it was like 5 minutes worth of conversations. He got paid $120. And then he said that gave him the idea of getting people that talk to him only to ask him for donations, because they're talking to him and not wanting the class. Other people are passing by, customers are passing by. So people did it, he said. One time a group of people came and talked to him, and he told them, the situation about, it's okay that they talk, but they should at least, give some kind of a donation. And he ended up getting $30 out of that. And then eventually he ended up starting getting more customers. And one really prominent customer that had, that was a business owner, and he wants all of his staff to learn English. So he's getting paid some big bucks to do that and stuff. And it was just really interesting. Then the new place, I went over to this new place the other day, and it was kind of like not clean and stuff. And I had to happen to run into one of my friends, one of my female Japanese friends. And so she was like, what are you doing? I was just telling her, hey, I'm just going to go visit my friend. And I was on the train. She's like, oh, I want to go, I want to like meet new Japanese, gaijin people, not gaijin, but foreign people, whatever. And I'm like, sure, whatever, I don't care. So I, called him. He said it was okay. So we came over, and she's like really nice, and she saw his room, like, oh my God, you need to clean this place up, blah, blah, blah. And she's really nice. So she just went out, and we end up going to a 100 yen store, and she was buying, different things that he needed for the room. Just soap, trash cans, and trash bags, and towels, and different things that he needed and stuff. And me and her, separated the trash, because nobody didn't tell him anything. He got to separate the trash and all of this stuff. And then he was kind of like ill, so we took him to the hospital, and he didn't really have a lot of money on it. Like, he told me he had like $40 or something like that. I only had like 50. So I went to the emergency room. Thank goodness he had insurance, because his Japanese family was real cool. They let him use their address and stuff like that, so he can get his insurance and stuff. And well, not their address, they don't live together, but the guy's address, and so he can get his insurance, my number, and everything. And he could stay there too if he wanted, but I guess the guy is just kind of like a sponsor or something for him or something. I don't know how exactly that's going, but it was just really interesting and stuff like that. And so he had his insurance, so we went there. My friend was like really shocked, like, wow, how did he get insurance and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know what, he told me this and that, but I don't really know the whole details and stuff. But the whole thing is, in Japan it's possible, so it don't matter. They getting their money, whatever. And she said, is he paying for the insurance and stuff? I said, I have no idea. That's not even my business. I'm but I would think the guy is paying for everything. And so we went to the hospital because he had this something was wrong. I won't say his business. And so we went there, and the doctor we were talking to was funny. He was young, 25 years old, and spoke some English. And we stayed there for quite a while, almost 2 hours, I'm thinking. And, or an hour and a half anyway. And we ended up, the bill came, it was like $50-something. I know he didn't have any money. I didn't really have that much money on me. I wasn't going to ask my friend, because I know she probably would have paid, but she probably would have been later. She'd be like, blah, 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 and all this stuff, so maybe. Plus, I didn't really see her so much, so it was cool. But anyway, so I came out of my pocket. I paid like $30. He paid $25, and of course, You know, we're just talking about different things though. But his situation is really interesting because because of his support system in the stage just how can I say, just left him, you know, in the state. And it's really sad because this guy, he's a black guy, and you know how in the States everyone's complaining about white people this and that and stuff. And I'm always saying, you know, why you keep talking about white people and racism, you know, and supremacy? You know, it's not stopping you from going to school. It's not doing this. It's not stopping you from supporting your own families when they're overseas. It's not stopping you from, you know, doing all this stuff. So why even talk about it, you know? And it's really sad, you know, because that Japanese, we call them Japanese family, they came over and saw him and helping him, and the guy's paying for his Japanese lessons, which are like $1,600 every 3 months, but they raised the prices to $1,800 and stuff. And it's, you know, they're just really supporting him, trying to find him, you know, different jobs and stuff so he can work, you know, and try to support himself. And then he's out there hustling, you know, getting students, and he's getting these students and stuff. And it's, I mean, wow. I mean, like I said, I've been in Japan, and I came here with pretty much a silver spoon, you know, in my mouth and stuff, and I didn't have to go through any problems. I mean, I went through some problems, but, you know, because I do talk to people and things like that, and I'm nice and things like that, helpful people, you know, they share their ideas and, you know, different leads and stuff with me, you know, so that's why I'm really always trying to be nice, you know, because of the fortunate things that happened to me in Japan. But yeah, I did come out here and I did do well, you know, when I first came out here. But it was because anything that bad happened to me was my fault. So, you know, I don't judge anybody about that. But it was just really interesting, his lifestyle. So right now I'm going over to meet him and give him, you know, some things that he might need, or ask him if he need them. And I'm just not going to throw him, say, here, take this, you know, and then hang out with him and see, you know, what we're going to do. And, you know, and I don't know, it's just one of those, you know, fairy stories, you know, where somebody just fall on their fortunes, you know, come out here with everything, you know, ready for him and everything. You know, he had to support everything, and then all of a sudden things just got you know, how can I say that, got swept from under his feet, which is cold, you know. I mean, really, really cold. But, you know, I just thought I'd share that with y'all. But dang, it's really a sad story, though. And I hope things work out for the best of him. You know, hopefully, yeah, if he was down in Wakayama, then maybe a couple of months I'd be able to help him. But, you know, like I said, he got the apartment for a year, and, you know, they pay him for it. So all he gotta do is just, you know, I guess, just pay for his food and clothes and stuff, you know. But that's, I don't know, it's just interesting. But that's all I gotta say. I'm out.